Come on in, welcome to my home. Let's talk about the soundtrack of your life. Okay, we're going to have to do a couple things before we go any further into this. We're going to have to talk about a few terms and what I'm going to use them and what I'm going to use and how I'm going to use them. And they're probably not exactly correct, but I think it's going to help the masses understand this. For one, when I talk about the soundtrack of your life, I am literally more along the lines of talking about the score of your life, not necessarily the soundtrack. Now, some of you are saying, well, what the heck is the difference between the score and the soundtrack? Well, for this discussion only, I am not a music theory person. I am not a music person who does sound design or music composition for movies or anything. But what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the difference between a score, which has realistically no words to it. It's a piece of music that will give you a mood or a feeling, versus the soundtrack, which is going to be a piece of music usually with words, and it will underlie something which is going on. Does that make any sense? I hope so. Because here's what's really important. We can change our entire world just by listening to music. Here's how this breaks down. If you know anything about me, you will know that originally I almost never listened to music. No matter what I was doing, anything, I was never listening to music because I just listened to the sounds of my house. Not the sounds of silence, because probably your house isn't silent. I mean, when I was making my bed or washing dishes or just sitting there reading, there was never truly silence. So then I started looking into lo-fi chill. If you're asking yourself what is lo-fi chill, lo-fi is a low fidelity music which sort of just is like no words, just sort of chilled out, nice. It can be anything from, I've found hip-hop lo-fi to country lo-fi to just about anything. You can find it in lo-fi. And there are some interesting studies about lo-fi. Did you know that studying with lo-fi music can help you study? Yeah! We're finding out more and more that music can actually help your brain. It can help your mood. It can help just about every aspect of your life simply from listening to the music which affects you. And I want to stress this, which affects you. People will find music affects them differently simply from, who they are, what they like. So I'm going to take this on sort of my standards of what I like and what I don't like, because you're going to find out that, I'll say it here right now, I'm not a big hip-hop rap fan. Nope, sorry. If that upsets you, it shouldn't, because everybody's allowed to have their opinions of music. But I have found that that's not a style that I like. So if I'm going to do something, say make my bed, that's not probably what I'm going to be listening to. I'm going to be listening to something more chilled out. You're asking yourself, well, what kind of music do I listen to? I listen to somewhere between acoustic group, country, modern country, that sort of thing. That's what I listen to, but it varies until I found lo-fi country. Whole nother issue there. But anyway, let's go back to the beginning. The beginning of this is we can do things in many, many different ways. And the soundtrack of our life can help us do things in whatever way we want. We can wash the dishes epically. We can hip-hop our way to making our bed. We can just sit there and chill and read. Now, here's what I found and why I switched over to lo-fi chill when I'm reading. Because I found my brain will kick in, and if I hear a song that I know the words to, I will start singing along with it, no matter what I'm doing. Yeah, and we don't want that. Especially if I'm trying to do something which really does take a lot of thought. If I'm doing something which I need to concentrate on me thinking about the words, even if it's subconsciously I'm thinking about the words, isn't going to work really well. Isn't going to work really at all. So what it is I know that I can listen to nice, chill, lo-fi, even if I've heard it 1,000 times, and the music sort of blends into the background. It becomes like a score to a movie, where it's not right there really punching something forward, but it gives an overall feeling, and that feeling is really important. I can change the mood of anything just by what I'm listening to. And it gets even more exciting from there. So let's say that we just have a scene of a room. That's it. It's just a room. And I want it to have that calm, cool feeling, so I put on some nice, calm, cool music, and it's like, well, this is neat, this is nice, but I can take it a step further. I can really, really reduce my stress level, take it to the next level by all the other things I can put with this. And I'm going to show you how you can do this in a couple different ways. One of the ways is you can actually mix it if you have the capability or all those fun things to be able to mix music yourself, which I'm going to bet 99% of you don't have that ability, where you can put different sounds in with the music that you have, and I'm not even sure that's even 100% legal, but that's beside the point. But I'm going to show you how I worked my way around this. Let's take a normal living room scene. So it's just a scene of my living room. But I want it to feel like a nice way to wake up. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not put in music first. I'm going to put in sound. A morning sound of like birds and those sort of things. So it's sort of like a country setting. But if you're a city person, you want to wake up to the sounds of the city, go ahead and put the sounds of the city in there first. Now, if you're wondering how to do this, one of the things that I can say is wherever you have speakers, put the sounds that you want in that room. You can put the sounds of the city, the sounds of the country, the sounds of whatever closest to you, and even like diminish it so it's down. Then I will put my music on in a different room. There are even soundtracks or videos which are like songs from another room. It's sort of muffled, it's sort of like off in the distance, but you can hear it. And the cool thing about this is you can do this with anything. That's why I'm telling you how to do this way, so that you can have that light sound with the morning coming up, and you can even wake up to that. I found that that's one of the cool things that I set my alarm, if I ever do set an alarm, I will set it up so that I am waking up to the sounds of birds chirping in the morning, and that's really nice. And I can also change things, so if there's a winter storm going on out there, it can be springtime inside my house just by listening to spring sounds and having happy music playing in the background. And my brain saying, hey, just relax. If I come in a horrible, horrible mood, I can totally change that by just listening to calm music. And you're saying to yourself, well, what does that do with your house? Well, you can change everything in your house just by what you're listening to. You can make your house feel nice, calm, and relaxed just by the music that you're listening to. And like I said, I've really gotten into lo-fi by just chilling out, listening to it, and I found I've become much, much calmer listening to music. I can become much happier listening to a happy, upbeat, chilled out lo-fi. It doesn't need to be like stereophonic and all that other stuff, just something nice and behind the scenes. It's not something which is jumping out at me. It's not like a song. It's not like a soundtrack. This is the score. This is what's behind. This is the stuff which sort of moves everything and gives me that feeling, but without, being right out there in front of me. I like it. I like it a lot. I enjoy this kind of feeling so much, and it helps relax me and make me feel better about the day and everything. Just sitting back and reading. But I can do more than that. I can change the way, everything is. I can make it so that my day goes however I want it to, just by adding the extra sound. If I want to feel like I'm going to go on a vacation and I can't actually go anywhere, Why not put those sounds in the background? Tropical island, I will put on some music along with the sounds of a tropical island. Why would I do that? Because it helps sell the feeling. If I change my lights and everything, then suddenly it's not that I'm just sitting at home pining away for the fact that I wish that I were somewhere else. I can honestly feel like I'm somewhere else just simply because it sounds like I'm somewhere else. And if it sounds like I'm somewhere else, in my brain kicks in and says, hey, you're somewhere else. You're relaxing. You're on a hammock and just enjoying whatever it is you want to enjoy. And then I can take it even a step further. If I want to go on that vacation where I'm sitting in my hammock drinking lemonade and enjoying the sounds of just being outside, I'll do that. Maybe I'll even throw in the sound of somebody's lawnmower off in the distance, and then the trees and some nice light music, and my lemonade. Just simply because it really does help. Right now, outside it is 34 degrees outside. Not really warm and summery yet. But in here, it can be warm and summery. In here, it can be so relaxing that all of my troubles and worries just melt away simply because I've layered on sound which just make me relax. Maybe lawnmowers don't make you relax. Maybe it's crickets at night. Maybe it's the sound of, I don't know. You have to figure out what works for you and go with that. And you're going to kiss a lot of frogs before you find what it is that you like, and I understand that, and I hope you understand that too. There's going to be music that you like. If there is, save it. Write that song down. Save it to your playlist. Here's a question for you. Would you like me to come up with a weekly playlist of what I'm listening to so that you can listen to it? Or would you like me to come up with a weekly score where I'm doing whatever it is? Let me know down in the comments. But it's so much fun to really have those days where it's just like, hey, I need to get something done. I need music that will get me motivated. Music that will actually get me to do something. That's usually a soundtrack. But if I need something that's just chilled out, mellow, that's usually a score. Yeah. But that's how I do things. What about you? What things do you do? How do you do them? How do you change up your life just by listening to music? And I know some of you are like, everybody's known this for years. Like I said, I was not a music person until recently, when now I'm listening to music all the time. And I read tons. I have finished probably 5 books, 6 books. They were short, don't get me wrong, they were short. While I'm listening to lo-fi, sitting there chilling out, and I've enjoyed it. It's been so nice. And I got to forget about the fact that it was 34 degrees and a snowstorm outside where we got 10 inches of snow. Forgot about that. Simply because in my house there were birds chirping, there was nice song, and it sounded like summer, and that's the way it felt. Well, let me know down in the comments, do you make your house sound the way you want it to? I'd love to hear from you and what you think about this, and I hope I get to see you again the next time you stop by. Now, if you want to see some of the notes that I have from this video, or some of the production things, behind the scenes stuff, that is available to my patrons and to my channel members, for without them, these videos would not be possible. They help with suggestions, they help with ideas, and they get to see what's going on in my mind when I come up with these things, and sometimes they actually even get to see what I do in my free time.